Coming up next, find out what caused 3 infants to die at Geisinger Medical Center in Danville. Plus, there are 14 cases of measles confirmed in the state this year. Find out what local health professionals have to say about it.
And was an invasive species that could decimate the state's economy spotted in Center County? The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Jerome Taylor.
And I'm Courtney Allen. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the serious health situation. 3 babies have died from a bacterial infection at Geisinger Medical Center in Danville, and the hospital is now transferring some infants to other hospitals. The infection affected 8 newborns in the neonatal ICU. 3 died, 4 have recovered, and 1 is still being treated. Officials say they're working with state and federal health experts to make sure the waterborne bacterial infection is gone.
And another health alert, the Centers for Disease Control are reporting a record number of confirmed measles cases in the U.S. so far this year. Reporter Aaron Kemp talked with infectious disease specialists about what that can mean for our area.
The Pennsylvania Department of Health is confirming 14 cases of measles in the state so far in 2019. More than 1,200 cases have been reported in the U.S. this year. That number is the highest since 1992. Although there have been no cases in Center County or Penn State this year, University Health Services is encouraging students to learn what they can about the disease and take precautions, especially if they're traveling to areas where measles is active.
For instance, this latest outbreak of measles that we've seen across the U.S. is predominantly because people were not getting immunized.
Hafner says the measles vaccine can be 97% effective with 2 doses, but despite that, people are still getting sick.
If you're getting the vaccine, you're pretty well protected against measles. If you don't, you're a pretty big risk because it's a highly infectious disease.
Pregnant women, children under 5, adults over 20, and people with compromised immune systems are most at risk for the complications, according to the CDC. But despite the risk, some people in our area still have concerns about vaccines.
Vaccines are synthetic. They are contained of a dead or some type of synthetic or hurt culture of a disease, and then you are injected.
Distrust of the government is another factor that can play into decisions about whether to get vaccinated or not.
Many different agencies have been shown to have corruption, and so that is one thing that scares a lot of people.
Hafner stressed for people to look at scientific information and to be wary of social media. In University Park, I'm Aaron Kemp for Center County Report.
For more information about vaccines and how to protect yourself, you can find info on the Centers for Disease Control website.
The State College School District is responding to what it calls a racially insensitive video that's making the rounds in the area. Administrators say the video was created by a state high student and contained racially insensitive remarks. A joint statement from the superintendent and the principal said, quote, "We feel concerned for our community and acknowledge the hurt caused by this video. In our district, we have no tolerance for racist behavior and will always address these acts immediately." They say the video, which was not released, was created outside of school and shared on social media. They say the students have been identified and will be accountable for their behavior.
The invasive spotted lanternfly may have been seen here in Center County. The Center Daily Times says 2 sightings were reported here after the Penn State Pitt football game 3 weeks ago, and fans were asked to check their cars for the bugs at Saturday's games, especially if they traveled from southeastern PA. The lanternfly threatens the state's multi-billion-dollar agricultural industry if it spreads.
Faith-based prayer is coming back to state capitol in Harrisburg. When the Pennsylvania House of Representatives returns in less than 2 weeks, it will again open its sessions with prayers. A federal appeals court recently cleared the way by ruling the prayers don't violate the Constitution. The House returns October 21st.
2 Western PA state representatives are pushing for a bill to allow college athletes to make money from endorsement deals. The bill will be modeled after the recently passed California law. Governor Tom Wolf also spoke out in support of the bill, saying that college athletes should be fairly compensated. Caitlin Aguilas takes a closer look.
2 Pennsylvania lawmakers have released a memo announcing they'll introduce legislation in favor of paying college athletes. The bill, under the same name California used for its Fair Pay to Play Act, would allow college athletes to sign endorsement deals and hire agents to represent them. Penn State football head coach James Franklin says right now it's a waiting game.
And obviously our administration here at Penn State, as well as the Big Ten Conference, is all following this closely. And we're going to have to continue to follow it closely, and we're going to have to learn, and we're going to have to evolve.
Some college students we talked with say they're happy to hear their favorite athletes could be getting paid.
I feel like they shouldn't really continue to sell merchandise for star players, because think about it. When they get hurt, they lose their scholarship. They lose, basically, they're not able to play for a while, and if they don't go back to the same form they were, the people that are selling their merchandise are still making that money, and they get absolutely nothing.
It's a serious question here in State College, but I mean, especially because the sports are so serious here, I mean, I could definitely understand why you would pay the student athletes.
The NCAA's president is against the idea, saying, quote, "The complete elimination of rules is not acceptable. You simply can't have a successful athletic association when we don't have any rules in place. This is just a new form of professionalism and a different way of converting students into employees." If Penn State athletes are allowed to get paid with the passing of the Fair Pay to Play Act, that would mean that they would be able to get money from any endorsement deals that they sign. Right now, only 2 other states have introduced similar legislation, and 4 states are considering it. In University Park, I'm Caitlin Aguiles for the Center County Report.
The NCAA argues that states creating their own rules will create an unfair playing field for student athletes.
It's October in central Pennsylvania, and that means harvest season. Reporter Emerald Baptiste takes you to a farm in State College and shows you what makes it unique.
Many would say there's nothing more beautiful than watching something you love grow and blossom. Farming is hard work, but at Penn State, volunteers are actually operating an entire student-run farm. It's on Big Hollow Road in State College.
We have multiple student volunteers that come in, usually 10 to 15 every Monday night.
Isaiah Buchenwicks is the production director and former intern at the student farm.
Students aren't directly paid by the student farm for that, but they're invited to take as much food home as they want.
The farm has been operating since 2016 and it's about to get bigger. Penn State Student Farm just received permission to expand 3 times its size. They will continue to grow produce and flowers, just like this one called nasturtium. It is also known as an edible flower. Some say it's spicy. It does give you a tangy feeling. Whitney Ashed is a Penn State senior and a member of the farm club. She says much of the food grown here goes to the community.
We also have really good partnerships with the nursing home up there, and then we also have good partnerships with housing and food services with Penn State, and our food will often go to either up there, which is fun because they can see us farming throughout the day, or through housing and food services, so students can see a lot of the student farm produce whenever they go and get a salad.
A salad grown right here by students on their local farm. In State College, I'm Emerald Baptiste for the Center County Report.
The student farm says it plans on expanding in the upcoming years.
The rain has moved out of the area today, but what's on the way for the rest of the week? We check the 7-day forecast coming up.
Plus, see what Penn State sports team will be featured on an HBO special. Also coming up, an annual tradition in State College turns 100 years old. We'll take you there after the break.
Thousands of alumni returned to Penn State over the weekend as the university celebrated its 100th homecoming. Reporter Mitch Stewart was in downtown State College for one of the popular annual traditions.
Penn State celebrated homecoming with its annual parade on last Friday night. The parade began in front of the intramural building, passing East Halls before winding down through campus towards College Ave before turning up Burrough Street and finishing up at Rec Hall. Students, alumni, faculty, relatives, and community members came out to enjoy the numerous attractions.
Today's parade marked the kickoff of the 100th year of the homecoming weekend celebrations here at Penn State, of course coinciding also with Saturday's game against Purdue over at Beaver Stadium.
This year's homecoming theme was called A Century of Stories. The weekend was all about celebrating tradition, taking pride in being a Penn Stater, and giving a chance for all Penn Staters to reconnect. This was ultimately true for Tom Boudet, who graduated from University Park in 1980 before moving to Europe.
I've been living in Europe for 20 years. I haven't been back in a long time, so for me it's just it's a special treat to be back in State College.
There were performing groups such as State High's marching band, the Penn State Blue Band, and the Lionettes dance team, floats made by student organizations, and even appearances by notable Penn Staters like University President Eric Barron. Thon made an important announcement by using their float in the parade to reveal the 2020 Thon theme, Journey Together. The night accomplished its goal, bringing together generations of Penn Staters of the past and present, whether they live in downtown State College or across the world in Switzerland, over one common love, being a Nittany Lion.
So it's changed in positive ways, but it's remained the same. It has the same charm, the same sort of authentic feel, and I really appreciate that.
In State College, I'm Mitch Stewart with the Center County Report.
Penn State is expected to announce a date for 2020's homecoming week sometime during the month of January.
Happy Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Casey Rigner bringing you your latest forecast. Outside the PSU golf courses right now, the good news is the camera just updated. These clouds are continuing to dissipate as we head later into the afternoon hours. 55 degrees right now here in State College with a north-northeast wind at 9 miles per hour. Across the rest of central Pennsylvania, low to mid 60s. The reason we're a little bit cooler here in the valley is sometimes that cooler air, it's a little bit harder to escape outside of those mountains. Otherwise, across the rest of the board, across the rest of Pennsylvania, low to mid 60s right now. Central and southeastern Pennsylvania, still we're dealing with some of those rain showers that are fizzling out associated with that cold front that passed through yesterday, bringing us rain for a majority of the day on your Monday. Now, what's going to happen is there's high pressure. This is on Wednesday afternoon. There's high pressure to the north with a system to the south. And when these winds come together, it's going to fuel up some rain, bringing in some moisture from the Atlantic. So parts of the East Coast, including Jersey, New York, and southeastern Pennsylvania, Wednesday afternoon, you may have some rain showers that will linger into the evening hours as well. Nothing to cancel your plans over, nothing that's going to be too long lasting or too widespread, just something to keep in mind as you're headed out on Wednesday. Now for today, it's going to be pretty seasonable. 64 is our high. Those clouds will continue to clear up as we warm up this afternoon with the northeast wind at 5 to 10. And then tonight, there's going to be a few clouds in the area. We'll cool off to 46 degrees, winds still out of the northeast. And then tomorrow, not much is really going to change. It's just going to be slightly cooler because some more clouds will be in the area. 63 is our high with some partial sunshine. The rest of this week is looking pretty nice, seasonable as I just mentioned. Nothing too much going on weather-wise, so it's going to be kind of a boring week in regards to that. 65 for the remainder of this week. And then a cold front should pass through by Sunday, and what that's going to do is it's going to increase our chances for rain, but then as soon as it's in, it will cool off temperatures slightly by Sunday. We may be in the upper 50s and lows in the upper 30s, and then it should be great for the beginning of next week, but the good news is this week, not much to worry about weather-wise, pretty calm, feeling like a nice fall week for October.
Seems like that's all you can ask for.
Nice, we're finally cooling down. Penn State football will be featured this week on one of HBO's newest shows, 24/7 College Football. The Nittany Lions are one of 4 teams selected for the show, along with Washington State, Arizona State, and Florida. The series offers an inside look into how each team prepares for game day. Last week, HBO cameras were in State College documenting the football program as it got ready for the Purdue game. Coach James Franklin looks at it as an opportunity.
That I want to make sure everybody in the United States knows how special this place is. And to be able to have somebody like HBO has tremendous expertise in doing this, to be able to kind of peek behind the curtain and allow people, maybe a more comprehensive review of how we do things, I think is important.
On HBO, now here's Carolyn Sistren with more sports.
State College football was back at home on Friday, and some special guests came out to show their support. That's next in sports. Also coming up, Penn State men's hockey started the season over the weekend. We'll take a look at the Nittany Lion trio that has Hockey Valley excited for what's to come. I'm Carolyn Sistren with sports. The State College Little Lions are still unbeaten this football season. They're now 7-0 after a win Friday against Harrisburg. I was there to catch all the action. The Little Lions are having quite a big season.
The thing I really like about this team is that they're always competitive.
State College High School took down Harrisburg on Friday night to hold on to their undefeated record so far this season. Drayson Green intercepted the ball on the Cougars' 23-yard line to cut their first drive short. The Little Lions went on to end the first quarter with a 4-yard rushing touchdown from quarterback Brady Dorner.
Brady Dorner, I know it's kind of his year now. He's been behind some guys who graduated now. And then I know they got a couple running backs who have been good as well. I know Dre, and then Isaiah too. So they got some talent in the backfield for sure.
Strong defense on both sides kept the score at 7-0 heading into the half. Green's pick six 13-yard return in the third and 5-yard rushing touchdown in the fourth gave State High the 3-touchdown lead with 11 minutes left to go. The Harrisburg Cougars fell to the State College Little Lions 21-6.
The consensus among State High fans is that the Little Lions have a really good shot at making the postseason, and Penn State head coach James Franklin turned out to see that for himself.
Ahead of Penn State's homecoming game on Saturday against Purdue, James Franklin was in attendance to cheer on the Little Lions, taking pictures with fans and enjoying the Friday night lights. Former State High football alumni were there as well, including Penn State freshman tight end Tommy Freiberg. State High hosts Central Dauphin this Friday at 7 p.m. Penn State hits the road this week after beating Purdue at the homecoming game to stay unbeaten. The team had 10 sacks on Saturday, just one short of the school record set in 1999. KJ Hamler got things started on a 23-yard touchdown play. Quarterback Sean Clifford added a touchdown of his own on a 3-yard run 3 minutes later. Sophomore Jahan Dotson got in on the action with a 72-yard pass play that resulted in the third touchdown of the first quarter. Purdue scored just before the half for their only points. Penn State freshman running back Noah Kane finished with 105 yards on 12 rushing attempts. While the team is happy with the win, Coach James Franklin still sees areas that need improvement heading into the rest of Big Ten play.
And I felt like, maybe after getting those early points, that maybe we took a deep breath and exhaled. And we don't live like that around here. We're gonna play for 4 quarters, 6 seconds at a time, and be aggressive for 4 quarters.
Penn State improved to 5-0 this season and is now ranked 10th in the AP poll. Hockey season is back in Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions hit the ice in an exhibition match over the weekend. Penn State took on the University of Ottawa in the 5th annual international game at Pegula Ice Arena. The Nittany Lions shut out the GGs 5-0, with 2 of those scores coming from junior Evan Bell. The Lions begin regular season play this Friday and Saturday against Sacred Heart University at home. Penn State hockey had the highest scoring trio of forwards in all of college hockey last season. Reporter Will Desatel caught up with each of them as the new season began.
Penn State hockey is back on the ice, and expectations have never been higher. Leading the way is the most productive trio in college hockey last year: Alex Limoges, Liam Folks, and Evan Barrett.
I think the next step for us is just being more consistent period by period. We all know what we're capable of doing. We proved that last year, and we're just excited to get ready for this season.
In 39 games last season, Folks, Limoges, and Barrett combined for 135 points, more than any line in the country. The question is, can they be that productive again this season?
All of us, as individual players, have matured and gotten better in our own way, and that makes us better as a group.
Limoges was the biggest star of the group last year, setting single-season program records with 50 points and 23 goals.
Individually, I think I can do more. It's going to be a challenge, but we're definitely up for it. We're excited and we're ready to go.
Last year, though, was the first time in 3 seasons Penn State did not qualify for the NCAA tournament. But with this trio returning, the Lions could be in for a big season. All of that production coming back for another season is a big reason why the Nittany Lions are ranked #1 in the preseason Big Ten polls. The next goal for all 3 of them, of course, will be to remain atop the polls at the season's end.
I'm sure they would take a few more wins to make sure they made the tournament instead of a few more points.
In University Park, I'm Will Desatel for the Center County Report.
This is the first time ever Penn State is ranked first in the Big Ten preseason poll. Penn State men's soccer looked to extend its unbeaten streak to 8 games when it took on 8th-ranked Indiana on Sunday. But the Hoosiers had different plans, and their aggressive offense found the back of the net 3 times before halftime as they beat the Nittany Lions 3-1. This was the Lions' first conference loss. Their next game is against Northwestern on Saturday. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Carolyn. Coming up next, see how some fans tailgated in ultimate comfort for this year's homecoming game at Penn State. We'll take you to the RV lot next. For generations of Penn State football fans, tailgating is a fun way to socialize before football games, and some people go all out. Reporter Zachary Smith headed to the RV lot on Saturday for a closer look at this football tradition.
They come from Philly and Pittsburgh and Maryland and beyond. The Penn State tailgaters, here at every game, enjoy not only football but also the pregame festivities around Beaver Stadium. And for many, their home away from home isn't in a hotel, it's in an RV.
You don't have to get a hotel. You don't have to unload it and load it every time.
Tom Studenauer loves the fact he can roll into town self-contained in his RV. Same goes for Brentley Carmichael.
Well, it just makes it more convenient for everybody. We have refrigeration, we have cooling, we bring things to put to bake in.
RVs are a staple for tailgating at Penn State University. People are out enjoying the weather, celebrating homecoming.
The RV lot becomes a giant block party from Friday through Sunday as fans hang out with old friends and meet new ones. The RVs range from smaller ones to big ones that cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The ultimate stadium fun spot for diehard Nittany Lions fans. In University Park, I'm Zachary Smith for the Center County Report.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Join us for our next newscast on Friday. Have a good day.
We hope you enjoyed watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you did.
For the rest of our newscasts and featured stories, click here.
And for sports, click here. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.